good morning. It's Monica Cornetti. Welcome to Monica's Morning Musings. I have just a few minutes because we're getting ready to deliver part 2 of our level 1 gamification surveyor certification. In part 2, we spend a lot of time on the actual game mechanics. So when we think about why gamification projects aren't producing what we wanted them to produce, a lot of times it's because we start with the mechanics rather than work our way through to the mechanics. We always have to start with what's the business objective? Who are we designing for? What kind of narrative will we wrap this in? What's the actual content that we need people to learn? How will we know that they've learned it? How are we going to deliver that content? So all of that, the nitty-gritties have to be done before we actually get to play. But of course, the play is the fun part, so that's where most people want to start. Here's the challenge with that. When we think about game mechanics, we extract from games what makes them fun to play. We move that into a non-game context with gamification. And our Chief Motivation Officer, Jonathan Peters, here at Sententia Gamification, he's identified 192 mechanics of play that you could pull from games and put into your adult learning programs. 192. But if you think about why you like to play, we play different games for different reasons. Some of us like to play because we do want to win. Others want to play because it's the social aspect. The only reason we're there is because that's where everyone else is. Some of us like to do strategy. Some of us like to build things, put things together. 192 different mechanics that create a dynamic of play. So if we don't do the nitty-gritties first, I can pretty much guarantee you your project is not going to deliver what you want it to deliver. So when we think about, in our level 1 certification, we just give them 30 of the 192 to get started. And the 30 that we give them, we're not saying they're the best or these are the ones you should use. These are just some frequently used and some not so frequently used. So we're familiar with avatars and achievements and of course the points and badges. We're not a huge fan of leaderboards. We seldom actually incorporate those into programs. But what if we did things like free lunch? A lot of people they don't like the idea of free lunch, but if you're a high acceptance or you're high interdependence, you probably like the idea of a free lunch. What about guilds? These alliances that are formed for a purpose for a limited time. Again, interdependence, social contact, these are huge motivators for people. They satiate the motivator of wanting to work with others, wanting to have that social contact. We've got things like structure building, trophy shelves, where if I've got a high power or high status motivator or high acceptance, I want to show you what I've earned so far. So I've got this trophy shelf where I can demonstrate, which ties into collecting and spending and unlocks and vanity items. And again, I don't want to say the list is endless because it does have an end, but we've got 192 of these super fun mechanics that create a dynamic of play that can be brought into learning programs. So when you're thinking about what mechanics should I use, I want to challenge you to get your toes over there, hanging out over the edge. Like, let's push it a little bit. Let's understand who we're designing for. Let's see what we can weave into this game. A lot of times we have to design algorithmically, right? Like if they do this, then that. But you can do that. You can do that with unlocks and trophy cases and in-game currency, and they can still get choice where they can choose how they'll use that currency. Maybe they're going to gear up their avatar, which will help to show progression. There's so many great ways that you can design and weave these mechanics. We believe in our design processes that the narrative drives the mechanics drive the behaviors to get the actions that we want. We've got a great resource that Jonathan's put together for you. It's called 99 Mechanics and a Badge Ain't One. So check down below in the description on this video and you can see the link so you can download that free tool, 99 Mechanics and a Badge 8-1. So that's my thought for the day. Push yourself on these mechanics. Let's not stick with the easy because we know it. Our designs will be this small. Let's get big. Let's get out there. Let's think about who we're designing for. How can these mechanics help to drive that behavior that we want? Have a great day. Join me again for Monica's Morning Musing.